All right, today is day 50 of 365 days of locking in, becoming a YouTuber, drinking water, eating food, spending time with God, all that stuff. So let's get into it. So today, all I did was video edit, spend some time with God, chill with my family. In terms of drinking water, I did not drink enough water as I wanted to. I did not get enough sleep as well. And I did not eat 3 meals in this day. So those are things I still got to improve on. And I think going forward, I will start keeping track of those things daily so I can check them off and even just show you guys my progression and like how I'm doing throughout the day. But today's thought, no question today, is about the other side of doing social media and content creation. Social media and content creation, you know, you're often polishing what you're putting out. You're trying to put in work so that it looks good, it's appealing, kind of a perfect image of what you want to put out there. You know, that's kind of been the social media thing since Instagram and Facebook started booming a lot more, Snapchat. You never really actually take a picture of yourself in the moment and post it online. It's always edited, there's always filters, it's always being a certain way. In similar ways, doing social media, pursuing content creation as like a job, you're kind of trying to put out a polished product, you know, for the world. You don't always talk about the real things in the behind the scenes. How does it impact you emotionally, mentally? I feel like people always look at it as like, you know, these people are happy, or, you know, they're lucky they get to do this thing, or they're stupid for trying this thing that is not that good in terms of payments, and then it's also risky, etc. All these different opinions and thoughts about social media and content creation. But behind the scenes, in terms of people supporting you, you're not going to really get that support from the people that know you. That's just what it is. I mean, that applies to everything, not just social media. But when you're pursuing something, the people who know you are they're not going to tap in. The only times that people really show support and tap into what you're doing is when there is some type of success. You know, you start to see some results, some numbers, you know, you're making money, whatever it is, people will start to tap in when they see some results and success. And I'm looking at some of my own things. One thing I was doing was looking at, you know, just my stats, because that's another thing you do in social media. You look at analytics, you look at how much people are watching you, how much people are following you, unfollowing, all that stuff. It's just a part of the job, really, regardless of if you like it or not. It's important to know how your product is doing, how you are performing and doing, if you're trying to turn this into something more. So looking at my Instagram stuff, seeing a lot of unfollows, expected, because a lot of people followed me for one particular video or a couple of videos of a walk that I did to Niagara Falls last year, and it makes sense because I'm not making that kind of content necessarily since then. It wasn't even, when I posted that video, it wasn't even content anyways. It was just like, I'm trying to support the cause and the reason why I went on the walk anyway. So that's why I made that video. So it makes sense. A lot of people followed me from that, and now I'm posting more often and it's not the same content, so people are unfollowing. I expected that. But one thing I was interested in though is I'm getting a lot of unfollows. How many of those people are people that I know? So I went and looked. I don't follow a lot of people, right? I have like 200 something people that I'm actually following. I don't really care about the ratios and all that stuff, but like the way I do is like, if you follow me and I know you, I'm gonna follow you back. However, if people unfollow me and I know they unfollow me and I know them, I'm gonna just unfollow them, because what's the point? Not that it like really is anything crazy, but it's like well, you should have just maybe unfollow you. Instagram has that feature now where you can make people unfollow you. So I'm just scrolling through the list, looking and seeing. It's not a lot of people. It's like 200 something. You might think that's a lot to scroll through, but when you do social media, doing like monotonous tasks, I think that's the word, you know, doing the same thing over and over and over, repetition, it's really not that serious. It's really not that hard for somebody who does social media to do. So going through one by one and just looking at the people I follow, seeing if they still follow me. Surprisingly, there's some people who unfollowed me who like I still rock with, you know, I think in my head we're still cool, whatever. And it's like, damn, they unfollowed me, you know, and I'm still following them. They didn't think to like, you know, delete me off their follows, whatever. There could be so many different reasons. Like I said, they're just not interested in the content. They're moving on, or it's not that serious. They just don't want to see me pop up, however they might feel. There could be so many different reasons, but at the end of the day, it's still very interesting how people move and how people support you or don't support you, and even take the extra step of pushing themselves away from you while you're making this push of doing something. It's very, 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 very interesting. That's why I was looking into it. Still love for those people. If they ever want to talk, whatever, link up, chill, I'm out here, bro. Like, it's all love at the end of the day. It's just very interesting. Yeah, so this is the other side of social media that people don't really see or talk about a lot. I feel like people are talking about it more often nowadays, but you don't really get support from the people you know, and to the point where like even people are unfollowing me and probably other people who are doing this thing. And like I said, there's many different reasons, but it's very interesting. If somebody's doing something and it's not necessarily bad, they're not promoting violence or something that I'm completely against or whatever, I'll support them. Why not? You know, and it's just a like, it's just a view, it's just a comment, stuff like that I'll do for people I know who are putting in work. And when I see this stuff, I know algorithms don't always show you people's things right away or all the time, But when I see people's stuff, yeah, if it's not bad, like I said, morally, then I'll support it. Either way, I'm not gonna follow people if they're making a push to do something, But that's just me. That's how I see it personally. So it is interesting. I want to talk about that, shed some light on some of the other sides of social media and content creation and becoming a YouTuber and all that stuff. How people around you react. And I feel like also we've seen examples of this. When you start to get some success, people will gather around you and come back into your life even. And I've seen it in small ways, like people I know don't really interact with my stuff that much at all, really. There's only a couple of people and I really appreciate you guys. But when I post something like I gained this much followers, or I got this many views, or I got this sponsor, when I post those type of highlights, then people start to interact. And it's like, before they interacted because of those things, I was thinking like, yo, maybe they're not seeing my stuff because of the algorithm, or maybe it's just too much people and their followers and they have too much stuff flooding their page. But I promise you, anytime I post any type of highlight, like I got X amount of views, X amount of followers, I got X amount of money or sponsorship or whatever, any success from this stuff, people interact. So it's kind of interesting. But yeah, that's just some thoughts for anyone who wants to do social media. I know I'm yapping a lot, but it is what it is. Just wanted to share this. Stay tuned for future videos. This is day 50 of 365 days of locking in, becoming a YouTuber. Currently, I'm at 6.8k subscribers on my main channel on YouTube. My secondary channel with my wife is at 173 subscribers. Really amazing growth in like 2 weeks of posting one video on that channel. So really amazing, 22,000 views on that video. And yeah, we still rolling, man. Still trying to grow closer to God, drink water, 3 meals a day, stay in line with his path and his will for my life as well. So, if you're a believer, pray for me, pray for my family, and let's keep going. Lock in.